I was working at a client's house when I noticed my wife walk into the house next door. At first, I assumed it was just a coincidence. Perhaps she was running an errand or visiting someone. But as I kept an eye on her, something felt off. The house next door had been empty for months, and it struck me as odd that she would just walk over there without telling me. I tried to dismiss it, but my mind kept racing. I needed to figure out what was going on. Over the past few months, I had noticed that Lisa had been distant. The spark we once had in our relationship seemed to fade, replaced by an unspoken tension. We rarely argued, but the silence between us was louder than words. She had been spending more time on her phone, her attention divided, avoiding eye contact in a way that felt strange. I tried to convince myself it was just a phase, that work and life were getting in the way. But seeing her walk into that house next door crushed any remaining doubt. Something was definitely wrong. I couldn't stand there any longer wondering. I tried to dismiss it, but the feeling in my gut grew stronger, urging me to act. I quietly stepped outside, making sure to stay out of sight as I watched her disappear behind the house next door. My heart raced as I stayed hidden, my mind swirling with questions. Why was she there? What was going on? After what seemed like forever, I saw her approach the door, and the lights inside flickered on. A man appeared at the door, greeting her with a smile. Although I couldn't make out his face, what I saw next made my stomach drop. She smiled back at him, and it was too warm, too familiar. It was a smile I hadn't seen directed at me in a long time. Was he someone from her past? Someone she had met recently? Or was this a secret I had never known about? They went inside together, and I stood frozen, unsure of what to do. Every instinct told me to confront her right then, but I couldn't move. I couldn't bring myself to face the truth, whatever it might be. Instead, I turned and walked back to my car, my mind in chaos. The woman I had trusted more than anyone, the woman I had loved, was inside that house with another man. The drive home felt like a blur. I couldn't stop replaying what I had just seen, trying to tell myself it was nothing, that I was overreacting. But deep down, I knew I couldn't ignore it. The woman I had loved had betrayed me, and I needed answers. When Lisa finally came home that evening, I was sitting on the couch, trying to process everything. She entered with her usual smile, the one she always used to greet me, but something was different. She seemed anxious, more nervous than usual. My heart sank. Was she going to lie? Was she going to try to cover up what I already knew? "Hey babe," she said, trying to sound casual as she took off her coat. "Where were you today?" I asked, my voice calm but heavy with intensity. I had to know the truth. I couldn't pretend I hadn't seen what I saw. Her eyes widened briefly, and then she quickly looked away, trying to come up with an excuse. "I told you I was working late. The project I'm handling took longer than expected." I stared at her, my heart racing. I knew it was a lie, and I wasn't about to let her get away with it. "No, you weren't working late. I saw you, Lisa. I saw you walk into that house next door with him." Her face drained of color, and she froze, looking like she had just been caught. She opened her mouth to say something, but no words came out. Instead, she broke down, collapsing into the chair beside me, trembling. "I didn't want you to find out like this," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Mark, I never meant to hurt you. I've been seeing him for a while now. I'm so sorry." Her confession hit me like a punch to the stomach. The shock, the pain, the overwhelming betrayal left me breathless. The woman I had loved for years had been seeing someone else behind my back. It wasn't a short fling. It had been going on for months. "I don't know how it happened," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't plan for this. It just happened. I thought I could hide it from you, but I was wrong. I was selfish and I hurt you. I never wanted to." I sat there, numb, trying to process what she was saying. I wanted to scream, to yell, to demand answers. But all I could do was stare at her, my world falling apart. The love, the trust, the life we had built together. It all felt like a lie now. The silence between us was suffocating. I didn't know what to say or do. I had given her my heart, trusted her completely, and now it felt like I was living in a nightmare. "I need some time," I finally said, my voice barely a whisper. "I need to think, Lisa. I can't do this right now." She nodded, understanding the gravity of my words. I understand. I'm so sorry, Mark. If you want me to leave, I'll go. For the next few days, I barely slept. My mind was consumed with the image of her with him, with the betrayal that had shattered everything I knew. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know if I could ever trust her again. But as the days passed, something shifted. I realized I couldn't keep living in this broken state. I couldn't continue holding on to a life built on lies. I filed for divorce. It wasn't easy, but it was the right decision. Lisa tried to apologize, tried to convince me we could fix things, but deep down I knew our marriage was beyond repair. The months that followed were tough. I moved into a small apartment and started rebuilding my life from scratch. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but I learned that healing takes time. Slowly, I began to focus on myself again, rediscovering the things I loved. Little by little, I found peace. A year later, I sat in a cafe, watching the rain pour outside. I wasn't thinking about Lisa or the betrayal. I was thinking about how far I had come, how much I had grown. I had been knocked down, but I had gotten back up. And for the first time in a long while, I felt free. Sometimes, the hardest part isn't letting go of someone you thought you'd never lose. It's letting go of the past and embracing the future. As I sat there, watching the rain wash away the remnants of my past, I knew I was ready for whatever came next.